If your income is in the Medi-Cal range when you file your federal income tax return, do you lose your Covered California plan for the next year, and must you repay the subsidies? Hello, I am Kevin Canals with InsureMeKevin.com, and several people have called me and said, oh, my income, on my last tax return is in the Medi-Cal range, below what I estimated on the Covered California application. Are they going to flip me into Medi-Cal, and do I have to repay the subsidies? No. And there are reasons for that, and all of the information I'm presenting is from IRS publications. So one of the first things we can look at is IRS publication 974, and there's a flow chart in there on who is eligible to take what they call the premium tax credit. That's what we call the subsidies through Covered California. So one of the questions on the flow chart: was your household income at least 100% of the federal poverty line for your family size? Yes, then you may be able to take the PTC, premium tax credit. So the confusion comes in that in California we have expanded Medicaid, expanded Medi-Cal, which means you can have a higher income, 138% of the federal poverty level for adults, and get no-cost Medi-Cal health insurance. So if your income is below 138%, you go Medi-Cal. However, the IRS, under the Affordable Care Act, determines you can be eligible for the premium tax credits as low as 100% of the federal poverty level. And that's kind of what this chart here shows. For a single adult, 100% of the federal poverty level for 2023 was $13,590. Well, if you put that on your Covered California application, you'd be determined eligible for Medi-Cal. But there are people who have estimated their income higher, but when they do their income tax return, the income, the modified adjusted gross income, is in that Medi-Cal range. So let's look at one of those examples. Joey started a small business in 2022, and things were going along pretty well, and he used the 2022 revenue to estimate his 2023 Covered California income, and he said it's going to be $32,000. And everything's going along. When he does his tax return, his modified adjusted gross income on Form 8962 is only $16,000. He had numerous legitimate IRS business expenses, and that dropped his income, cut it in half. So let's see what that looks like on Form 8962, because that is the form that reconciles the premium tax credits that you received with what you were actually eligible for. If you're using a tax preparation software, this is all kind of happening behind the scenes. So line 5, where they're determining the percentage of the federal poverty level, Joey's income is $16,000. Then we go to line 2, the federal poverty level for that year was $13,590. We don't have to worry about 3. We skip down to line 4, and that's where Joey divides his $16,000 by the federal poverty level times 100, and his income is at 118% of the federal poverty level. That's Medi-Cal range in California. Now, the way the Affordable Care Act determines the subsidies is based on what they call a consumer fair share. The IRS calls it an applicable figure. And if your income is less than 150% of the federal poverty level, the applicable figure is 0. Your consumer fair share is 0. And what that means is that the subsidy that you should receive for those months you were in Covered California should be equal to the premium for the second lowest cost silver plan, because the second lowest cost silver plan is the benchmark upon which the subsidies, the premium tax credit, is calculated. So let's look at Form 8962. Joey is a household of one. His income, modified adjusted gross income, line 2 is $16,000. He's using line 4 other the 48 states, and the federal poverty level is $13,590. That comes up with 118% of the federal poverty level. And as we just went through, on line 8, his annual contribution is 0, and also 0 on a monthly level. Now, Joey has his 1095As from Covered California. And in line 11A, the annual enrollment premiums, the total was $4,620. Now, Joey happened to have enrolled in the second lowest cost silver plan offered to him in his area. And line 11B is the cost of the second lowest cost silver plan. That's why those two are the same. He may have been in a higher cost plan, and so 11A would have been higher, but for this purpose, they're both the same because he was in the second lowest cost silver plan. His annual contribution amount from line 8A is 0. His maximum premium assistance is $4,620. His maximum premium assistance is the annual cost of the second lowest cost silver plan. So we know that is his annual premium tax credit allowed, but when he entered Covered California, he stated his income at $32,000. So he wasn't getting that full amount. He only received $3,732 from Covered California, for the full 12 months that he was in the health plan. Then we drop down to line 24 of Form 8962, and the total premium tax credit that Joey was eligible for was $4,620. But Covered California only advanced him to his health plan $3,732. So Joey is eligible for an additional premium tax credit on his federal tax return of $888. So it all worked out for Joey. And that's all part of the system, and it's completely legitimate. Joey, in good faith, estimated his income at $32,000, but being self-employed and having these legitimate business expenses, it dropped his income down to $16,000, and he was eligible for an additional tax credit. He will not be flipped into Medi-Cal because the IRS doesn't call up Covered California and say, hey, this person is in the Medi-Cal range, you need to get him out of there. That's just the way the tax system works. So Joey could update his income in Covered California if he believes his income is going to be $16,000 in 2024 and go into Medi-Cal. But if he honestly believes his income is going to be, $32,000 or anything above $138,000, that's okay. So if you have any questions or comments about this, you may leave those down below. You can go to my website, Insure Me Kevin, go to my contact page. My email and phone number is on there, and give me a call, drop me a line, and we'll try and answer your questions. Otherwise, for InsureMeKevin.com, I'm Kevin Canals.